promotes public health, safety, and general welfare. Remember also that there is this fair share housing component over it. That's often seen as a inherently beneficial type of use. And we're not building with this, but that potential exists at the town asset that we look at this as an overlay for housing. We also received use variance approval and bulk variance approval from the prior board, who recognized the public benefits to this application. It's also important to recognize that the site plan approval is still in place for the proposed use, and as I indicated before, you can't do one without the other. We would have a site plan that would be rendered useless if we weren't allowed to get the use variance to allow more than one use, principal use on one site. So that's why the use is so critical. Based on Ms. Winsinger's testimony, also the variances that were previously approved can easily be reapproved without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantially impairing the intent and purpose of your zone plan and your zoning ordinances. I think public good is the key here, and I think it's something that we should all focus on, given what's going to be developed, the need that exists. You heard the gentleman indicate, from the public, we don't want to see more housing. This works for the neighborhood, and that's key. That's an important element to meet the criteria. There's no negative impacts on the neighboring properties, as was seen by the gentleman in the audience. And we can confirm, I believe there's no negative impact with this at all. It fits well within what exists in that neighborhood now. And I think that was recognized by the board, also the prior board. To address the negative criteria for the C variances, I think that it's the same criteria that we would apply to the use variance. It doesn't impair the intent and purpose of your zone plan and zoning ordinances. For the positive criteria for the C variance, I think it's clear by granting the bulk variance, it'll be a better zoning alternative for the property, and the benefits to the community and the benefits to the neighborhood would outweigh any detriments. And as far as municipal land use law is concerned, I think we meet purpose A, which I indicated before, to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use or development of all lands in the state in a manner that promotes the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. And purpose I, to promote a desirable visual environment through creative development techniques and good civic design and arrangement. So I think based on Ms. Winsinger's testimony, we meet those specific provisions of the Act, Municipal Land Use Act, and that we have demonstrated to you, I hope, the positive and negative criteria for both the bulk variances and for the use variance. And we hope that you reaffirm the variances to allow this project to move forward. And we thank you for your time today. Greatly appreciate it.
Okay, to just run through the prior relief granted, it's a use variance to allow the two buildings on the same lot, in which you're gonna have two principal uses and different uses, including a mix of retail and residential. Bulk variance relief as to the impervious coverage, and bulk variance as to the parking, which is being reaffirmed, but at a reduced number. A design waiver as to the size and design of the loading area, a waiver for the number of off-street loading spaces, design waiver to reaffirm the size of the parking spaces, and the design waiver from the requirement to have sidewalks throughout the property. Also confirming certain pre-existing non-conforming conditions, such as the front yard setback from Church Street, 39.5 feet, and 11.65 feet from Monroe Street, 13.5 feet from White Street. And then the side yard setback of 28.2 feet is on one of the side streets. And then to allow the existing smokestacks, which are part of the historic industrial feature, the height of them, which is, the permitted height is 2.5 stories, or 35 feet, and exceeds that, as is indicated in the review letters. And I agree with council in terms of the burden of proof. A lot of times, you hear the testimony of people and professionals, and you can use your own informed judgment as to whether it makes sense, because you know the town, you're all residents here, so you know what works well for your town. So, are there any questions about the relief, the conditions, of the burden of proof from the board? Any questions? So based upon the summary of the prior relief, the presentation of the applicant, the conditions as stated. Is there a motion? And my suggestion is to grant.
I think, did you get these both variances on the second, the relief from the 10-foot wide buffer?
Are you on page, which page?
4, page 4, it's got 6, both variance relief for no buffering where a 10-foot wide buffer.
I did not do that. The bulk variance to allow no buffering where 10-foot wide is required. And the surface, stone surfacing in front of the, what would be the gift shop to
Right.
permit that. And we already addressed the parking.
Yes.
Thank you. So those additional items. So my usual suggestion is to move to approve, because if you move to deny and then it's denied, then you lose all the conditions of approval. So is there a motion based upon the testimony and the conditions as stated?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Dow, seconded by Ms. Associated.
Gina, please take roll call.
Zachary Klein?
Yes.
Paul Saucier?
Yes.
Robert Adler?
Yes.
Scott Bailey?
Yes.
Richard Dow?
Yes.
Anthony Furlong?
Yes.
You're all six?
Very good.
Great, the motion carries.
Congratulations. I'll work with you on the.
Happy to work with you as always. Thank you for your time tonight. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You'll be proud of this. You know that. We'll make it work.
At this, yeah, I told you. So at this time, we will now move to open public comment. This concludes the portion of tonight's proceedings that deal with the application we just heard. We will now receive comment from members of the public. Just very briefly, consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, members of the public are invited to submit comments during this portion of the meeting. Public comment sessions are an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions and concerns with the board about matters within the board's purview. Public discussion of a topic by individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes for each person's turn speaking. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion as may be appropriate and in a manner consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act. Not all issues brought before the board at a meeting will be addressed at a particular meeting. Concerns raised or actions suggested by the public may be taken under advisement by the board for review with discussion or to be acted upon at a later date or time, or the issue may be referred to the appropriate entity for its review. Please note that if a property or an application is not listed on the board's agenda for action, or if a matter is adjourned to another meeting date, it cannot be discussed by the board during public comments because the applicant has not been given notice of the discussion and does not have the opportunity to respond to comments made by members of the public. With that in mind, is there anyone in the first row who would like to offer public comment at this time? Please state your name and address for the record.
Louis Robert, 98 Levis Drive, Mount Holly, New Jersey. Can you explain more detail on the first resolution?
You're referring to resolution P-2025-24 regarding 421 High Street?
Mr. Dewey?
The one where we turned the wall?
Yes, yes, there is an application for bulk variance relief from the side yard requirements for installing a retaining wall. It was closer, a retaining wall is considered an accessory structure, and it was closer to the side property line that is permitted, so he needed bulk variance relief, and he provided testimony as to drainage, so forth.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Anyone else who'd like to offer public comment at this time? All right, with that, we close the public comment section of tonight's proceedings. At this time, we now move to executive session. Executive session will be a closed session.
Would I ask everyone to?
We don't anticipate taking any action on the executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation. So it's not like we're gonna be coming back and taking action on